Next up, we'd like to talk about Global Test Supply, and of course, the story about everybody's in this wonderful magazine, and I'd also like to thank Rob for coming to town. This changes the vision of business in Wilmington. No reflection on the Star News, but somehow or another they never could get the news of business in the business news section of the business news section. And Rob has taken the news of business and put it in a section and sends it to you for a very reasonable price so you can keep up with what's going on in Wilmington. Global Test Supply was started by Robert Prevel in 2005, just 4 short years ago. Now, you say to yourself, where do entrepreneurs come from? Well, they don't all come out of the business school. They don't all come out of the street. They come from somebody who has an idea. Robert is a mechanical engineer by training, not a businessman by training, but a mechanical engineer. He was working at a company that was selling testing equipment and realized that there was a disconnect in the testing equipment world. So he started a company that would be an online brick and mortar combination testing equipment company. And here's his catalog. And you say to yourself, well, if he's online, why does he have a catalog? Well, what Robert figured out, the niche in the market that no one else understood, was there was a whole market underneath the level of where the bean counters have to be called. If you've ever worked for a big company, all of us have at some point in time, and that's why we're entrepreneurs. We're unemployable at big companies. Is if you need to buy something, you got to run it up the flagpole, and the bean counter's sitting in there. My brother's a CPA, so I can say this nicely. They don't like anything you want to buy, and they always want to ask you 10 questions why you need it. Well, Robert figured out that there was a whole line of equipment that the bean counter said anything under $10,000 or whatever the number is in that company, and you need it, you just buy it. So Robert put his staff together with an online business that has the back office that says to you, call me after you've been online and discover us, and we'll tell you what piece of equipment you really need to do the job you need to do it. And they've been extremely successful, and fortunately enough, they're here in Wilmington. What you look at what they do, and you look through this catalog, and I did because we buy some things at Jungle Rapids, testing equipment. I had no idea they were here because my guys knew they were here. Because I have a policy at Jungle Rapids is if you need it, buy it. I'm not going to be a bean counter because I want my business to run the right way. Robert has inside this catalog, does business and has inside the catalog 27, 30 pages. But the difference is he does business with 87 different companies, 250 different types of equipment. And when I say different types, you got electrical testing equipment, you got water testing equipment, you have all types of testing equipment. He has people on staff that understand this. And that was the difference in him being a successful entrepreneur online. Because if you're online and you want to buy a shirt from Cabela's, you know you wear a 15.5, 33. But if you're online looking for a piece of testing equipment, how do you know that's what you need? And this is where Robert was very successful, in my opinion, in listening to his story. He filled that gap, came up with a group of people that he trained that understand what they need to do when that phone rings. Then he took it to the next step. He took his marketing and said to himself, okay, now we've talked to Bob Rippey at Jungle Rapids. We know he needs to test water, so why don't we build our marketing program to just talk to Bob by email every now and then about water testing things instead of blasting me with emails about electrical testing things or other things he sells. And that has been a big basis for the growth of his company. So I'd like to ask Robert to come up and receive his award if he'd come up now, please. Thank you, Robert.
This is a tremendous honor. I have a quote that I post in the office for the employees to see by Benjamin Franklin. It says, drive thy business, do not let thy business drive thee. And I think that makes up the entrepreneur psyche in the room. What I've come to realize, though, is driving your business is kind of like herding cats. And Benjamin Franklin must have been a cat lover, but I can't thank anybody more than my employees. Without a good team, good people, I don't think any entrepreneur is going to achieve the success that they set out to do. So I'd like to thank my team. I'd like to thank the Greater Wilmington Business Journal, UNCW, my family for support. It's a real honor. Peer recognition is extremely motivational. Thank you.
And before I step down, once again, thanks to our sponsors today. Appreciate it.